y'all, this look is giving me all the feels. I am loving it, and too bad I'm about to butcher the name of this palette. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So today I have a beautiful palette right here. This is the Amunet Nude palette by Adept Cosmetics. Look at it. It is so pretty, neutral with the right amount of pops of color, and this is actually the dark version. And I have 3 looks, 1 palette for you. But before I get carried away, let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy. I love makeup. Eyeshadow is my jam. That's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashley. So like I just mentioned, I am featuring right here. This is the Amunet Nude. This is the deep version. And the only difference between the deep and the light version is that the deep version, which is the Sage Seth, is actually blue in this particular color story versus a light beige or a brown shade. I will try to pop a picture up there for you in the light version. But like I did mention before, now this palette right here is actually a new formula for Adept. And if you're wondering why my palette looks a little beat up, this palette did actually arrive to me broken. And she has posted on Instagram that she's been having some trouble with the new formulation and is shipping out to people in one place. So I know she posted that she is going to be sending out some replacement shades and making it right. I did get a second palette. One of my other shades was broken, but she reached out to me, said she will replace the shade, so that will work for me. Okay, so I know she's working very hard. She's a one-woman show, so I definitely respect the grind. Now this beautiful palette has, I think, like a really unique color story. So like I did mention before, you have the light and the deep, whereas you have the shade Seth, whereas this actually a bold blue, or kind of like the blue I have in my outer crease. And then you also have some shades that are, you have 6 mattes, and you're going to have 3 shimmers, and you have 2 multi-chrome shimmers, and then you also have 1 shimmery topper, and it is free of glitter and talc and mineral oil. Okay, so now this palette does retail for $56, and currently the palette is sold out, but it is available for pre-order at the moment. It looks like you can pre-order both versions, and it will ship out in February. So that is the only downside when it comes to maybe some of these indie brands, these smaller indie brands. Is like the stock is kind of limited. Now the packaging is really gorgeous, and is actually made of upcycled plastic, and it's 82% of that is upcycled plastic. And then also that this is also like a vegan or faux leather, so you don't have to worry about that. But I think it's just so pretty. Look at this color. I mean, it's so bold, it's vibrant, it has a nice shimmer to it. It kind of gets me in the holiday spirit to a degree. And like I said, it's just a great version of like a neutral palette with the right pops of color. So I think you can get a lot of use out of it. Now each shade is actually removable. You can probably just take a magnet. They're magnetics, and Adept is known for doing that. And each shade is containing 2 grams of product, and there is a 23 millimeter pan, and the total weight of the palette is 24 grams. And it should be mindful that if you have maybe some light or medium skin tones, that you might experience some staining of the eye with this palette. Now if I haven't mentioned it, the price once again of the palette is $56. It's on a pre-order, ships out in February. There are plenty of influencer codes out there. I don't have one, but you can use somebody else's code who you would like to support in order to take 10% off of this palette. So like I mentioned before, I do have 3 looks for you. So let's go ahead, create the looks, talk about what we think about the looks in between, of course, and I'm going to wrap up with some final thoughts. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. Eyebrows are filled in using my Goof Proof pencil, shade 3.75. The primer I'm using today, my good old Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Caffeine.
You're special and she reckless. Remember, you're my bestest friend. Yeah, she my bestie. My love for you is endless. Nobody else can end it. And when I get the money back, then baby girl, you can spend it. And everything is alright. I like how you doing alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top of yeah. dreams come true. She know she bad, better than bad. She a gunshot that blew my mind. No distance, I come by my side. Everything is green over here. Oh, yeah. Everything you want and think about. Now I got your back all the way, and everything is alright. I like how you doing alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like how you do it alright. Everything good, alright, alright. Like how you think alright. Always on top, alright, oh yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and be family. Me and you, we can be something we want to. When I see the dream we're chasing true, we don't care for me, yeah, yeah. Luckily we're free to be first class, wedding casually, yeah, yeah. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and be family. I wanna know it tonight. I wanna be the one to surprise you. Wake you up in the morning. I wanna be the one that you calling. Cause I see you in the future with me. I wanna meet you. Love best friend and be family. Anything that you do, everything that you do, everything that you do now. Oh, no, 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 no.
All right, guys, I am back, and here are the first two looks. So both of these looks have definitely different vibes, but they are both very gorgeous. I can see this and maybe like a holiday party coming up. This sparkle purple, and I think this is the shade that she was having the most issue with as far as breaking. And Anubis, I'm gonna be terrible at pronouncing these names, but this shade is really, really pretty. It is so hard to have like purple shades that have just the right amount of sparkle in it, and I think that is so gorgeous. It kind of almost reminds me of the shade by McGrath, Deep Amethyst. Is that the name of the shade? Let me see. Okay, so actually the shade is called Smoke Amethyst, and this is the palette right here that I was referencing. So these two shades, they kind of, remind me of each other. So I think that this shade is really, really stunning. I also really love the shade Hawthorne, even though, we've seen a lot of shades like this with the white base and kind of a green shift, but I like how it has a minty lime green shift, and it's really, really pretty with the purple. Also on the other eye where I have this beautiful matte shade Amon, and the mattes, like, let me just backtrack. Blended out so well, like the gray matte, the gray purpley matte Aris, like, gray mattes are like my friend that I don't see a whole lot, but when we see each other, we just like no time has passed. So I love that shade, but this shade performed very well as well. Also, Amunet performed very well, and then I decided to go in with Osiris, and this is more of just like a shimmer shade, just a straight up metallic versus like a duochrome. I decided to go in with the orange duochrome like in the center, but it really wasn't giving me what I needed in the center of the eye, so I kind of went in with Nectar, which was probably the more obvious choice to go in the center of the eye, and then popping in Basset in the inner corner, which is really, really pretty. But I would love to see that shade like just all over the eye. I think that would be bomb. So I really love these two looks. They're very sparkly. It's a lot of effort. These shadows were not messy at all to deal with. I just used my finger with a couple because at this point I've been experiencing a lot of duochromes, a little highly slippery, highly let me see. Well, shades that probably have like a lot of mica in it because it has a lot of slip to it. That's what provides that shine. And it's just easier to go in with the finger, even though I'm really not the most finger person because, you know, my nails are a little bit longer and I like kind of precise application, so getting in those little nooks and crannies of the eyes can be a little difficult, but for the payoff, I do not mind. So let's go ahead and jump into one more look. Alright guys, I am back and here is the last look, and oh, I just love it so much. It is so beautiful. And so one of my favorite shades in this palette is the shade Re, which is the shade right here, probably like one of the only shades I can pronounce. This shade right here, and oh my gosh, Hawthorne in the inner corner is just, it's giving me all the feels. So you saw me use Seth. I really like how that blue is navy. It's just the right tone, and paired along with Pata, I want to say. I cannot pronounce any of these. But that purple was actually a lot deeper than I planned on it being. I thought it was going to be a little more plummier, but I'm very happy it kind of settled in as a deeper plum and not so much a bright fuchsia. So for the rest of my face details for both of the looks, it will be down below. Nothing changed except for the lip. And I failed to mention my lip in the past two looks, which was actually this lip liner, the Luxe Lip Liner by Juvia's Place. This is the shade Cola. This is their standard brown, kind of comparable to the shade Chestnut by MAC, you know, a fan favorite. And then I popped off with the Bronze Seductress, what is this? The Opulus Gloss by Pat McGrath. And then for this lip, I actually decided to go in, let's see, I have this Colourpop lip pencil in the shade, what is it? I think it's called Leather. I'm not even sure if this is even still available, but it's just like a really nice, it's like, it's not maroon, it's maroon, but it's more purple than maroon. So really pretty. And I put on this particular shade that's a little bit more gray in nature. It's called Mercury Wave by Kaleidos. Oh my gosh, if you haven't tried the Kaleidos lip glaze, what are you waiting on? I promise you. Like, this shade is just stunningly gorgeous. So I kind of changed the effect, gave it a little bit more mauve-y, coolie tone, but kind of brought out a little bit more color to it by pairing that lip liner with it. Like I said, I love this look. It is so beautiful. This palette is just stunning. It is gorgeous. Like, oh my gosh. Adept, you guys have done it again. Do you see this beautiful red packaging? It just makes me so happy. Puts me in the mood for the holidays, but I think it's so great year round. I love the shine on it, and I love how they're like vegan leather. The inside of it, there are little, okay, so they're actually hieroglyphic figures, so I should probably feel, okay, so they're probably, if you see real lightly, there are some etchings some hieroglyphic men right here. And I feel like the color story is really, really pretty. Now, like I said before, that this is the deep version. So the only difference with the deep version is actually like the shade Seth right here. It is actually like more of a brown shade versus in this one where it's a blue. I love the blue, the purple with the, you know, light gray smoked out. I just love this color story right in here. The golds are very bright. You have some dirty golds. You have a little bit more pop of gold. This tan. You have the nice duochrome shade that I know is going to look nice over multiple shades. So overall, I just feel like the color story is stunning. The quality is really nice quality. The shadows performance is great, okay? I know she's having some issues with it breaking, but if we're just talking about performance of the shadows, I had no issue. As you see, I did not lay down any of the intensifiers. I didn't put down any glitter glue, like didn't even wet the brush. The shades just stood alone. The mattes were wonderful too. These right here were my favorite, and I'm so happy because this is the part of the palette that really just drew me in. The gray was beautiful. It was plummy. It was gray. It blended out very well. The same with the blue. It really packed a punch. You could pack it on or you could just kind of blend it out, and when you blended it out, you did not lose your color. And the same with this purple shade right here. It was really a pleasant surprise. It ran a little bit deeper. I thought it was going to be a lot brighter, but it wasn't. So good. The shimmers are really nice. They're not crumbly. I wouldn't say the only one that's a little bit thicker in nature is this one, but this is more of a straight up metallic, okay, versus this, and this were more duochrome. This one's not so much duochrome, but it is more like you have like some fine glitters or just, you know, crystals in it to get that sparkle shade. But overall, I feel like this palette is really gorgeous. I feel like this palette is for somebody who's been wanting to try Adept, but it just felt like Codain was just too far out there, especially with the turquoise and the pink matte and some of those super shifting multi-chromes. The same with if they wanted, you know, to play with Ninhydrin, but it didn't feel like it had enough balance, and the same with Plain Jane because it's all shimmers. I feel like this one would be a pleasant surprise. Like I said, the color story is just so interesting. It's so unique. It's neutral with just the right pops of color. It's not like that one blue shade where you're just like, but okay, what else am I supposed to do with it? You know, you have the blue, you have the purple, you have the gray to balance it out. You have some cool with the light tones. And even this shade right here, which was Thoth, you know, I was able to kind of just blend out those edges really nicely. So I was just really pleasantly surprised about everything. Like, I'm more used to the shimmer formula when it comes to Adept Cosmetics versus their matte formula. And the other two palettes I have from them, they just have, you know, two mattes in here. But these mattes are wonderful, and I'm so happy with them. So overall, I'm very happy with this palette. I know she usually comes back a lot of times with the palettes and does pre-order. That is one thing, like, I don't particularly care for. I know, like, she is basically one woman doing this whole brand, putting up the money for her brand, but I know a lot of people want to get their hands on this collection, and that's why it makes it like where I don't like it, because a lot of people want to get their hands on her palettes, and then by the time they try to, it's just they're gone, they're out of stock, and they have to wait for a pre-order. And a lot of people are getting frustrated with the pre-orders, even though you have to wait for like the 40-day ship time with her. But I just wish that sometimes, like when I put the video out, if, you know, it's been a lot of times where I've been watching a creator on YouTube and I'm like, oh, stop, what is that? Opens up another tab or go on my phone and buy that product really quick. And I wish that I could have that with this particular product, and that's not really the case. But if Adept Cosmetics has been on your radar, I would just say just put them on your radar, set your alerts, subscribe to their email so you know when they're going to come out with restocks or in more products. So overall, I hope you guys like the looks. Okay, my allergies are trying to play me. But overall, I hope you guys like the looks. Let me know down below what was your favorite look. Oh my gosh. This right here for certain is my favorite look. I think my second favorite look would be the first eye with that purple shade. I just know there's gonna be so many different color combinations. So just like check this palette out when it comes up in like a palette rotation or something. You know, that's a new series where I'm just kind of using all the palettes that I have in my collection. So let me know down below. Leave me a comment. You know, I like to chat with you guys. Give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be very soon. And please subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know how we end the videos around here. We gotta hit it with the cheddars. Hey, 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 cheddars. 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 All right, y'all. Bye.